Good morning, good morning. This is the Minnesota Lash Tech Podcast. This episode is talking about licensing versus certification. What it means, what it doesn't mean, what allows you to perform lawfully and knowledgefully. So listen in, this is a good episode to get you started. Good morning, all. Let's dive right in. The eyelash technician license is the base to start your lashing career in Minnesota. This is a 38-hour program. This is not a lot of time. A full-time work week is 40 hours, so in 1 week, you can potentially be licensed to provide this service and start your career. Like all things in the beauty industry, trends and best practices evolve quickly. So it will be essential to continue your education. Recertify, read books, listen to podcasts, exchange information with other technicians. Keep honing your craft and listening and exploring and asking questions and, expand on your knowledge of this career. In the state of Minnesota, the service of eyelash extensions is regulated. This means that to be legally compliant in the state of Minnesota, an individual must have taken a course through a legally recognized school. Upon finishing your school program, then you must pass the state board exams. There are a few state board exams included in that. Lastly, after school and exams, you must submit paperwork and pay fees to the board, and then you'll be on your way. This type of license, the tech license, is regulated by the State Board of Cosmetology in Minnesota. Each state has their own board of cosmetology, and each state will have its own requirements. In the state of Minnesota, to do licensing services, it will only be regulated through this state board agency. Upon the approval of the State Board of Cosmetology in Minnesota, of all these steps that we mentioned, you will be licensed to provide this service. There are 3 types of licenses that allow for someone to provide the service of eyelash extensions. The scope of practice that includes this service will be cosmetology license, esthetician license, and the eyelash extension technician license. That's it, just these 3. So let's focus on the course for the eyelash extension technician license, just that one license. So for this set of folks, this is a 38-hour course. Again, for the state of Minnesota, each state will be different. 38-hour course. Upon completing this course, it is required to take the state board exams. These tests include 2 written exams, where you will actually go into a facility, sit at a computer, and answer multiple choice and true-false questions. These questions will measure your knowledge of the eyelash industry, of salon sanitation, of infection control, and state statutes and rules in the industry of Minnesota. So once passing these 2 written exams, the final exam is a hands-on practical exam. So this will actually be done in person on a model, and in which the pre-licensee, yet to be licensed, will perform hands-on a full set application on this live model per the state board rules and quotas. So as current, the full set includes 45 minimum extensions per eye using classic eyelash extension techniques. And there are more rules to it, but we can get into that nitty-gritty of the particulars in another podcast. But the exam of the hands-on practical. So upon passing this with the rules and quotas set forth by the board, you are on your way to getting that license. So after successfully completing the 38-hour program, the quotas, the exams, and then paying your fees to the board and submitting your paperwork, you will be an official eyelash extension technician licensee. Yay! To renew your license, you are required to take board-approved core class. So you need to take what is called a CE, continuing education is what that stands for, CE, a continuing education course that has been licensed through the Board of Cosmetology. So it's an approved course. And these core classes are for infection control. Usually that's infection control in the salon and how to properly maintain sanitation and your tools and client safety and that kind of thing. And while sanitation is very important and necessary, these particular CE classes are not designed to advance your skill training for the service. It's designed to just refresh your memory on sanitation control and how important that is. So growing your skills will require practice continually. And pursuing this continuing education and expanding your repertoire of types of services or techniques within a service, that kind of thing. And doing this will increase your value as a stylist. Every time that you get credentialed, every time you take a new class of certification, each time you are learning something of a new technique and putting that into practice, this is a good time to raise your prices because this is increasing your value as a stylist. A certification course is a class that's meant to advance your skill within your scope of license practice. And once you've obtained your license, these certifications will broaden your availability. So you're just building on top of the foundation of your scope of practice. Certifications also extend and expand your menu of services. Certifications are fantastic courses. It's a fantastic use of your time investment. These, however, are not a replacement for a license. A practitioner must have a license in order to legally perform lash services on a client in the state of Minnesota. So you must be licensed prior to attending these certification courses. So tell me, have you attended school in Minnesota? How was your experience? I would really love to hear about your industry journeys. Let's help each other grow by giving advice to one another, sharing experience with different programs, either in a school or in your ongoing certifications. Let's share what we know and spread the word and spread the love on eyelashes. Thanks all for listening. We'll talk again soon. Bye.